voulez si je commence depuis le début? Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the channel. We are pleased to receive today's special guest, special because he's one of the soldiers who fights daily to keep alive patients who really need to take care of them. So welcome, Professor Kitani. So Professor Kitani is Professor of Anesthesiology in University Hospital of Rabat. He's the head of Department of SAMU. For those who don't know what is SAMU, it's a 911 Moroccan one. He's also member of a board who managed COVID pandemic in Rabat. He's director of university degree, clinical ecography in the emergency room and critical care. He's president of WinFocus Morocco. So, Professor Kitani, first question, can you give us a glimpse into your personal life and how you choose to be an anesthesiologist?
Thank you, Asma, for the invitation. First of all, welcome to all of you. I'm really honored to talk in front of you today. So my name is Ali. I am 44 years old. I work as a physician in Ibn Sina University Hospital, and I'm also professor of anesthesiology in Rabat School of Medicine. About my, I don't really like to talk about most of myself, but I just give you some points about your question. I never really planned to be an anesthesiologist. I wanted to be an engineer, and I still don't know how I found myself in medicine school. And even there, I wanted to be a surgeon because surgery was so impressive. And by that time, I didn't even know that anesthesiology and intensive care was a medical specialty. And the key moment in my career was in 1998 when I had to have a training at the pediatric intensive care. And I discovered a very simple thing. Anesthesiology and intensive care is the only specialty where you can do something and immediately after what you do, you can save lives. Where you can do that. So I fell in love with this specialty and decided to make it my job. I tried the same in adult. And after I chose this job. So about my personal life, I'm married. I am a happy father of 2 kids, Omar and Amin. And as you can see in this photo, we didn't have masks because this photo I think was one of the last taken before the pandemic. So actually, we cannot enjoy this kind of day, but maybe next year
we soon
be able to do that with our kids.
Okay, second question, Professor. How you experienced the COVID situation, you and your team?
Actually, I have 2 teams. As you said in introduction, I work in a COVID intensive care. And at the same time, I lead the emergency medical services. So in this, the reaction and the experience of the 2 teams was quite different, because initially we didn't know. The first phase was a lot of fear, doubt. We were influenced by the mass media. It's a new disease that we didn't know a lot about, so we kind of panicked. So if you can show the next slide, please. We overreacted initially, so we equipped a lot of ambulances. We bought a lot of protection equipment, and we did all our work in the ambulance and in the ICU. I would say overprotected, because we were all afraid and convinced that it was evil and it could kill us at any time, because we didn't know. And after that, the second phase was more reasonable. We read a lot, and we made a lot of group meetings to know better this disease. So we equipped ourselves, but more reasonably. Asma, if you can show the next picture. We replaced the physical presence with cameras for better monitoring. We equipped a lot of ICU beds, but the patients were not here. I'm talking about the first wave. I don't know if we can call it the first wave, but what I call the first wave of COVID, we were ready. We had a lot of ICU beds, a lot of people who wanted, even if they were afraid, they wanted to help, but there were no patients. So virtually our ICU our beds were nearly empty. So after that, we were happy. We said for us, we were the best in the world. Everybody was dying from COVID everywhere in the world, and we didn't have patients. And we were wrong, because we were happy too soon. It was until the second wave arrived, and we're actually in it. And actually, we have the same problems as the problems in the whole world. Too many patients, too many severe patients, and not enough people to treat them, to be basic. So actually, it's quite critical. But what we learned during this whole period is that we cannot live with the fear and do nothing but work. As I always tell my teams, it's a new conjuncture. We have to adapt. We have to go on living, but with adaptation and protecting ourselves. Can you show the next picture, please, Asma? So actually, this is a typical ICU bed. As you can see, everybody is protected. And the main evolution that I've seen in people working with me is that they're not afraid anymore, but they are not confident either. They do their work, but they protect themselves, and they continue with their normal activities, as you can see in the next slide.
Yes, nice pic.
This was my birthday, and my team made me a cake with masks inside the unit. But it was a very strong message for everybody. Corona won't beat us. We go on working, but we go on living too. This was nearly 2 weeks ago, and I can reassure you, nobody in this picture got infected.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Okay, move to next question, Professor. Can you tell us about some cases that have marked you, either successful or not?
I thought a lot about these questions, and in fact, I can tell you about two people. The first one was a very sad one, and it was just I don't know, 4 days ago. We as intensive care physicians, we are used to deal with death, and in this COVID pandemic even more. But we are used to see people, old sick people, die, and the mean age of our very sick or dead people from COVID, it's around 80 years. So when you receive a nurse which is just 23 years old with no comorbidities and who passed away in just 3 days, it's something that you cannot forget. It's very painful. So I began with that just to finish with the happier one. I will talk about the Khadija. It's his name, and I have permission to talk about her. It's 101 years old grandma, and she had a very severe form of COVID-19, and she stayed something like 2 weeks in our unit, and we were in honestly from the beginning we didn't believe she would make it. And you know what? Actually, she's back home, and she's perfectly healthy. So what I want to what I conclude from these cases is that there is no rule in this COVID. It's true that all the sicker people die more, but even old people can survive, and sadly, even young people with no other illnesses can die from it. So we have to protect ourselves, the elderly and the young people, but go on with our normal life with some protection.
Okay, Professor. So, how do you assess the actual health situation? It's getting worse or better?
Obviously, there is no happy answer to this question because it's obvious in the whole world. It's obviously
it's a question in our mind, all of us.
I know, but I cannot lie to you. It's obviously going worse and worse everywhere in the world. I can tell about Morocco, but as you can see, this chart was from yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago. The number of the daily death is growing very fast, and it's mostly due to the difference between the number of severe patients and the resources available to treat them. I heard in some social media that the virus had muted, and I think it's my conviction it's absolutely wrong. It's the same virus that we had from the beginning, but in the beginning we have some patients and a lot of resources to treat them. Actually, we have a lot of patients, but the same resources, because especially in countries like Morocco, we have something like, if you include the residents, no more than 700 intensive care professionals. I mean anesthesiologists, because it's the same specialty in Morocco, and for the whole country. So it's not enough to treat all the severe patients, and that's why I'm not that worried, because we kind of begin to know how to treat this illness, but it's just a question of numbers. If you have the right number of professionals in the right place with the right equipment, you can save a lot of lives. So actually, it's getting worse, but not because the illness is more severe. It's just that people got used to it and to it, and they keep going to coffees and socializing and not taking care, not taking in account our recommendation to wear masks, to wash their hands. So the solution is not the hospital. The solution is that people have to go on living, but they have to protect themselves. If we can dilute the number of patients we have over time, well, I'm sure the situation will get better. And apparently the vaccine is working, so maybe it's another hope in some weeks.
We hope so. So next question. Professor, what motivates you and your team to face this exceptional situation? Can you give us a concrete example?
I can give you one practical example, which is my friend. We had this young guy. I have his consent to publish his photo. Don't worry. You can show
This
it.
one?
Yeah, this one. So it's Ahmed. He was, as you can see, if you can look at his neck, he still has the whole of the tracheostomy. He's a 22 years old young guy who stayed in our unit from the beginning. It was from the one of the first victims of COVID-19, and this is an actual photo. Don't I would say that's what motivates me. When you see young people and you're convinced that there are more than 90% of chances to die, and some months after, thanks to your work, thanks to the efforts all of the teams, you receive a photo like that from the beach. So it's really, really, really motivating when you have successful results, when you can bring back very sick people to their families, and you can see it with your eyes. It's an exceptional feeling, and that's what keeps us going. That was the first thing. And there is another thing, and I already talked about that during this interview. It's that COVID can stop us from going on with our normal lives. As you will see in the next slide, as you said in the introduction, Asma, I am the president of WinFocus Morocco, which is an organization which aims to teach clinical ultrasound to non-radiologists. And we were used to have at least 2 or 3 trainings a year. And obviously, initially, we stopped during the pandemic. And we had our meeting, our annual meeting on the last week, and everybody told us, no, you can't do it. It's the pandemic. Effectively, we couldn't do it the same way because there were lots of hand-on training, and obviously you can do hand-on training with Zoom, but we adapted. We regrouped all the conferences, all the slides on the same day. It was quite hard. It was from 8 o'clock to 6 in the morning, and everybody were there, and they stayed connected from the beginning to the end. And for the hands-on sessions, we hired a room in a hotel with distanciation, with masks, with washing of alcoholic solution, and we insisted on doing it. Asma, the next slide, please.
Yes.
And these same people came to the hotel. This is my my shock team, as I call them, and even with masks, they were happy. They were happy to share, and the people the attendees were very, very happy. They thanked us a lot because as they told me, since the pandemic, we did not have a single training session. And you know, in the medical courses, it's important, the continuous trainings, because you want to learn on a day basis, but you can't because the pandemic. But with adaptation, with some hard work, we can do it, and we did it, and everybody had their diploma. And the other activity that I like and that I usually do is going with sport teams here, football teams, to monitor the medical, to play as the doctor of the team. And I insisted with the same teams that take care of the COVID-19 patient to go, and it was just 3 days ago, this photo, and our team won the cup, and that's the cup you can see in the And these guys on the morning were transporting COVID-19 severe people, and these same guys in the afternoon, including myself, were on the field watching their team win and take a photo with the cup. So my message is, COVID cannot beat us, cannot deprive us from having fun, having lives. We have to fight it, but don't forget to live, because this thing is going to go on for at least for some 4 months, and we have to go on with our lives, even we have if we have to fight it every day.
Okay, so you gave us your advice. So what's your advice you can give us to face this difficult period?
It's the same message that I'm trying to pass from the beginning of this interview. It's in the next and the last slide. I chose a
Yes.
rock and roll title, but it's everything is in it. Life must go on. We
Just we need to protect ourselves.
Yeah, we have to adapt, but we have to go on with our life. We cannot stop because of the pandemic. That's my main message.
Okay, thank you, Professor, for being here with us and sharing your experience as anesthesiologist and the manager of COVID pandemic. Now it's time for a break, colleagues. In 30 minutes, we will have the award ceremony. So see you then.
Thank you very much.